Welcome to lab number 3, where you're going to find the equation of a perpendicular bisector, an altitude, and a median of a triangle. In this spreadsheet, once again, the green places are places to type in values. In this case, these are the vertices of a triangle. This triangle on the right is just a picture, so it's not going to be updated if you change these numbers. The reason I have this is just so you can kind of picture what's going on. So for the first task, you're supposed to find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of segment AB. So that's going to be some line that comes down like this. And one of the first things I want to do is calculate the slope of this perpendicular bisector. Because when we write the equation of the line, we'll need the opposite reciprocal of that slope. So the trouble is that this one jumps right into telling this the answer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click and insert a line. I'm going to give myself another place to do some intermediate calculations. So I'm going to have the slope of AB first, so I can take the opposite reciprocal of it. Okay, to calculate the slope, we need the rise, so I'm going to type in an equal sign. And the rise, I'm going to put in parentheses the difference in the y values. So let's say from B point with the y of point B to the y of point A, we'll subtract that. That's the rise, divided by, and I'm going to click on the well, first I put the parentheses, the x values, subtracted. So this is the familiar equation. So the slope of this is 2/3, and that looks right. It rises 2, runs 3. So this, I am happy to have an example just to check my calculations. If you didn't get 2/3, you know you did something wrong. So the slope that I want is the slope of the perpendicular bisector, so it's the opposite reciprocal. So this one's going to be equals, and I'm going to take the opposite, so it's the negative of 1 over, and I'm going to click on this cell. So whatever is there. So that's negative 1.5, which is negative 3/2, which is correct. Okay, so we know the slope of the perpendicular bisector. Now we need to know a point on this line. And the point that we're going to use is the midpoint. So I need to find the midpoint between A and B. And by now you're familiar with the midpoint formula. It's just the average of the two x coordinates. It gives the x coordinate of the midpoint. So I'll take this one, add it to that one, and then divide by 2. That's the midpoint. And the midpoint looks like it's at 1/2, which looks good. And for the y value, we'll do the same thing, equals this one plus that one, with parentheses, divided by 2. So there we go. We have the point slope equation of the line would be y minus y1, which is 2, is equal to negative 1.5 times a parentheses x minus 1/2. So these are all the parameters we need to write the perpendicular bisector. So your task on this is to continue on to do the same thing. The next one is to find the altitude from vertex A. So what's the equation of this line coming down as the altitude from A? The next one is to find the median from vertex A. Once again, you can do what I did, and that is if you have some intermediate calculations that you want to do, you can just give yourself more room. I gave you a little bit of room here, but you can always right-click and insert another line if you want more room to do some work. Okay, good luck. Again, if you get stuck, you can watch the solution video.